In this screencast, I'm going to show you and help you respond to question number 7 related to the Painkiller Epidemic article. And again, we want to get into the practice of highlighting key terms because that is what we will use in our topic sentence. And it says here, in the context of the text, how does power corrupt? So this entire phrase really is essential, but we're focusing on the how power corrupts. And I just want to take a moment to talk to you about what this phrase means in the context of the text. So whenever you read that, basically the question is asking you to include direct proof or direct quotations from the article itself, which you really should be getting into the habit of doing that anyway. But this is definitely telling us, as the person responding to the questions, please use direct quotes to help answer this question. So continuing to read the question, it says, how did the drug companies abuse their influence over doctors when promoting opioid painkillers? So how did drug companies abuse their influence over who? Over doctors when promoting opioid painkillers? And the third question, how did doctors misuse their power over patients? What is it that they misused? They misused their power over who? Over patients. So again, we have 3 question marks here. So there are 3 different questions that we need to answer. And before I began recording this screencast, I actually highlighted the answers for you so that I could provide some extra assistance. So it's right around line 10 of the article where you can find some quotes that help answer the questions. Pharmaceutical companies worked to advance the idea that narcotics were the only answer to chronic pain. So the question is, how did drug companies abuse their influence? They basically said that opioids were the only solution, and that states it here. Narcotics were the only answer to chronic pain. It also says here that pharmaceutical companies still heavily incentivize doctors to overprescribe what once were considered highly dangerous drugs. So the question is, how did drug companies abuse their influence over doctors? They basically convinced doctors that these drugs were the best. And here it says, health insurance companies often refuse to cover softer methods, such as massage or acupuncture. So that kind of reminds me of the first question that was asked. How does power corrupt? Power corrupts by refusing to be open-minded, or as this quote states, power can corrupt by covering the stronger methods of treatment, covering methods that'll benefit only the individual. And here it says the United States relies on prescribing opioids as the only way to deal with pain due to a lack of research towards exploring alternative methods. So, again, how do doctors misuse their power over patients? They follow what the drug companies were saying, and the research that is put into the studies is very narrow-minded. So I'm going to show you how to begin answering these questions, and then I'm going to leave it up to you to finish the response. So power corrupts because of selfishness. That could be one potential answer, but there are many reasons why power is corrupting. Let me show you how to respond to the second question here. How did drug companies abuse their influence over doctors when promoting opioid painkillers? Drug companies abused their power when promoting opioids by. And lastly, the question is, how did doctors misuse their power over patients? Doctors misused their power over patients by. And I'm just going to talk out the answers a little bit with you guys and then leave it up to you to select which quote you think fits best here. Drug companies abuse their power when promoting opioids by focusing on the fact that narcotics were the only answer to chronic pain, and doctors misuse their power over patients by prescribing opioids as the only way to deal with pain. So hopefully that will help you guys respond to these 3 questions.